On May 15, 2019, the Conference on Dialogue of Asian Civilizations opened in Beijing. This grand event focused on two subjects: exchanges and mutual learning among Asian civilizations and a community with a shared future. Its aim was to promote and carry forward the cultural inheritance of the magnificent fruits of civilizations across Asia and the rest of the world, providing spiritual support for building a community of shared future for Asia as well as for mankind.
今日之中国，不仅是中国之中国，而是亚洲之中国，世界之中国，未来之中国，必将以更加开放的姿态拥抱世界，以更有活力的文明成就贡献世界。
Culture is the soul of a country and its people. And for any country or people, cultural confidence as a driving power for development is something fundamental, profound, and enduring. To consolidate confidence in the path, theory, and system of socialism with Chinese characteristics is essentially to consolidate cultural confidence. Ideological theories are the heart and soul of a culture, as well as the flag and beacon guiding a nation's continuous progress. Upon publication, volumes 1, 2 and 3 of The Governance of China by Xi Jinping were enthusiastically received, domestically and internationally. Not only was it a must-read for members of the CPC, it was also one of a bestseller overseas. So far, the book has been translated into 33 languages and released in over 170 countries and regions. It seems that more and more people wish to discover the secret of China's success through the ideological window provided by this book and have a glimpse of the truth that is Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, the latest achievement of the localization of Marxism in China. As someone in the Western press once remarked, leaders in the West think about things in terms of 1 or 2 years, 5 at most, whereas their Chinese counterparts think on a scale of 50 to 100 years, if not 200.
Aber ich finde auch die Dialektik ist in Ordnung. Eine mehr als 5000-jährige Geschichte zu verbinden mit Ideen der Neuzeit und zurückzugreifen auf die Geschichte. Das ist, glaube ich, sehr wichtig für das Selbstbewusstsein der chinesischen Bürger selbst. Der Marxismus, der Leninismus und die Verbindung mit der chinesischen Tradition eigentlich eine wesentliche Ursache für die Erfolge der Kommunistischen Partei Chinas ist.
Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era is the product of both the contemporary spirit of the times and reflection on practice. Epitomizing the essence of the Chinese spirit, it marks a new height in the growth of Chinese cultural confidence. The insights of Xi Jinping thought, representing as they do the most modern and up-to-date version of Marxism in China and the 21st century, are reshaping China on a profound level and having a positive impact on the world. Thanks to their analytic power, the CPC and the people of China are being guided in their epic quest to rejuvenate the Chinese nation. As explicitly put forth by the 4th plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee, just as the leadership of Marxism in the ideological field must be insisted upon, so should cultural construction be guided by core socialist values. Years of CPC experience in the field of leading cultural construction have brought China's confidence in her culture and core values to a new height. When the people have ideals, their country will have strength and their nation will have a bright future. Values are the spiritual link for a people as well as the shared foundation for a country. The core socialist values are the crystallized essence of Chinese culture, reflecting the contemporary Chinese spirit and providing a steadfast spiritual support for the nation's endeavors far into the future. On December the 8th, 2020, letters were exchanged between Xi Jinping and Nepalese President Bhandari, jointly announcing the latest official height of Mount Chomolungma. 8,848.86 meters. That's the most recent measurement of the height of Mount Chomolungma. It's an achievement that amply demonstrates China's newfound technological prowess in the field of surveying and mapping. It couldn't have been achieved without the first Geodetic Surveying Brigade under the Ministry of Natural Resources. Over the course of the 7 decades since it was first founded, the brigade has grown used to hardship and devotion. While most people strive for happiness and ease, for them, life is all about arduous trials. Carrying the burden for the nation on their backs, exploring in the name of science, they've trudged over mountains and through seas, literally surveying heaven and earth. Role models and their spirit can be infinitely influential, and that's what gave rise nationwide to countless pioneers of reform, paragons of the time, moral models, China's finest and exemplary citizens, whose stories have deeply moved China and spread across the nation, inspiring hundreds of millions to persevere in their struggles for a better life. A large number of Chinese volunteers, through their practice of core socialist values, have passed on heartwarming love and care. Volunteer work as part of the new era civilization practice has become the general trend of the times. As a result, Chinese society has grown more positive and benevolent. Reflecting on the great journey of socialism with Chinese characteristics, it's possible to see it as the outgrowth of a combination of broad and profound traditions, vigorous revolutionary spirit, and an advanced socialist culture. Taken together, these form the strong basis of China's cultural confidence. Only by remembering our past can we build the future, and only by inheriting the legacy can we better innovate. Fine Chinese traditions and culture constitute the heart and soul of the Chinese nation. In 2017, the CPC Central Committee issued the Opinions on Implementing the Project on Inheritance and Development of Outstanding Chinese Traditional Culture, putting the inheritance of Chinese traditions and culture at a strategic level. The project in question takes the approach of innovational transformation and creative development, aiming to promote the eternal charm of Chinese culture while simultaneously giving it a contemporary twist. With its 9 towers, 4 pagodas, 8 temples and 24 memorial gates, Junding in Hebei province in North China has been known as a religious center for over 1,000 years. In 1933, a time of chaos and warfare, Liang Shecheng made 2 visits to Junding, writing a report in which he simultaneously praised the ancient town and lamented the gradual decay of its architectural masterpieces. By the time the PRC was founded, Giant Buddha Temple was the only one of the 8 temples that had not fallen into a state of complete dilapidation. As for the 4 pagodas, they had long been deserted, while the ancient city walls were in a ruinous state. In 1982, Xi Jinping took office in Junding. In the years that followed, he went to tremendous efforts to preserve the ancient buildings and pass on the town's cultural legacy. Once, seeing in the west side of Longxing Temple an unattended smudged stone tablet inscribed with the work of Zhao Mengfu, a famous calligrapher in the Yuan dynasty, he said, "Should we fail to protect it, we'd be sinners in the eyes of the posterity." Though Xi Jinping was transferred out of Junding around the year 1985, he never forgot the place, which he visited many times afterwards. The preservation of its heritage has been carried on consistently ever since. By the end of 2019, with the completion and reopening of 20 projects including the Junding County Museum, the East Gate and the Fuwen Temple, this millennium-old religious center of North China was largely restored to its original look. Being able to ascend a city tower, to appreciate the view of an ancient pagoda, and to retrace the roots has become a reality for Junding's residents. During the 14th five-year plan period, China is going to build national cultural parks themed on the Great Wall, the Grand Canal, the Long March and the Yellow River. The Grand Canal Museum, along with the Grand Canal Intangible Cultural Heritage Park, demonstrates in a vivid fashion to people today the charm of the 1,000-year-old canal.
Beijing.
In order to successfully host the 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympics, China has put in enormous time and effort building innovative sports venues that feature traditional Chinese elements. Design of the main structure of the National Ski Jumping Center was inspired by Ruyi, a traditional Chinese ornament, thus is called the Snow Ruyi. And the Shougang ski jumping platform, inspired by the image of Apsara from the Dunhuang murals, is called the Snow Apsara. As said by Xi Jinping, construction of the sports venues demonstrated elements of Chinese culture, such as the Snow Ru Yi, the Apsara of Dunhuang, the Ice Jade Ring, and the Ice Ribbon, all from our own culture, representing our distinct features. Chinese culture owes its resilience to trials of blood and fire, as well as misery, which gave it an heroic spiritual significance. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, President Xi Jinping has traveled to every revolutionary base area, paying visits to memorial sites, renewing memories of a glorious time, and calling on local heroes. Inheriting party tradition is crucial to maintaining the communist system. The inspiring revolutionary culture and the perseverant spirit are still, to this day, encouraging the Chinese people to overcome challenges and carry forward their great cause. Chinese people are constantly developing Chinese culture in their daily activities while giving due recognition to history. General Secretary Xi Jinping, always putting a premium on building socialist culture, and has made a series of important remarks touching upon this aspect of contemporary issue of cultural construction. He personally designed the strategy for building a culturally advanced country and has taken measures to facilitate cultural development, effectively introducing Chinese culture to the world to promote international understanding of China. On February the 19th, 2016, a delightful spring day, General Secretary Xi Jinping hosted the CPC's News and Public Opinion Work Conference and went on field investigations at the offices of People's Daily, Xinhua News Agency and China Central Television. For all news and public opinion professionals in the country, it was an inspiring day. Chinese journalists are encouraged to explore the very roots of society to improve their work ethics and skills. This will help them produce reports that are down to earth and people-focused. Media and press shall take on the responsibilities to promote China's people-centered policies, record truths and facts, advance social development and safeguard justice. Literature and art can lead the way of progress. It is the embodiment as well as the frontrunner of times. All phenomenal and everlasting masterpieces are a reflection of the zeitgeist and general opinion of their time. People need art. Art needs people and should be created out of love for the people. The film My People, My Country told the story of different times through the eyes of the common people, drawing on the collective memory of the entire Chinese people. Cyberspace has become the shared spiritual home for hundreds of millions of people. Ensuring a safe and clean environment on the internet is in accordance with the interests of the entire people. Healthy values should be made mainstream so as to solidify and expand their dominance in public opinion. Also, governing and use of the internet should be continuously improved to create a positive and right-minded atmosphere in the cyberspace. The ultimate goal of building the socialist culture is to meet ever-increasing spiritual and cultural demands of the Chinese people. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, China's public cultural services have advanced considerably. Government bodies at all levels have been taking the lead while encouraging involvement from ordinary people from all walks of life. By transferring power to the lower levels and allowing co-construction and sharing, the scope and applicability of a modern public cultural service system are continually improving. By the end of 2020, China had had a total of 3,203 public libraries, along with 3,327 cultural centers, 3,510 museums, 4,234 archives, and 12,600 patriotic education bases. In about 290,000 villages and over 40,000 communities, integrated cultural service centers had been built, bringing culture to their very doorsteps. A single flower does not make a spring, while 100 flowers in full blossom bring spring to the garden. Civilizations have become richer and more colorful with exchanges and mutual learning. By telling Chinese stories effectively and appropriately, ensuring that the voice of China is heard more widely, China is trying to create opportunities for mutual learning and mutual progress with other nations, adding more colors to the human civilization. Without a healthy socialist culture, socialist modernization would be an impossibility. At the critical moment when China has achieved its first centennial goal and embarking on a new journey to build a fully modern socialist country, the CPC Central Committee explicitly stated in the proposals for formulating the 14th five-year plan that China should become a culturally advanced country by 2035. This is both a confident announcement and a great morale boost to the Chinese people.
在5000多年文明发展中孕育的中华优秀传统文化，在党和人民伟大斗争中孕育的革命文化和社会主义先进文化，积淀着中华民族最深层的精神追求，代表着中华民族独特的精神标识。我们要弘扬社会主义核心价值观，弘扬以爱国主义为核心的民族精神和以改革创新为核心的时代精神，不断增强全党全国各族人民的精神力量。
For a river to flow, it must be fed by countless streams and overcome 1,000 mountains. For that reason, cultural confidence holds the key to furthering the nation's long cultural journey It is an indispensable spiritual asset. It's confidence of this sort that enables a man to strive forward with firm faith and steady steps. The kind of confidence that enables a country and its people to march forward courageously in one mind.
从长夜到日出，走过千山万水的路，每一步都是信仰足迹，烙印下新中国版图，从贫弱到富强，走出复兴，为业征途。